All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Market Close. We are going to have a pretty wild market close in terms of the content we've got going on in regards to earnings. We also had a ton of stuff that happened this morning with GPT-5 that came out, and we've got a lot of people already talking about GPT-5. Elon has definitely been talking about GPT-5, so we will talk and see his thoughts. Pouncer right here, 180.80. We had new highs of the day and all-time highs for some of these names. Pouncer was at 184 in the morning. Robinhood was at 112, and you kind of took a breather throughout the rest of the day since we had some of those new high of days. Firefly, this company, up 38%. They went public today. So they were at 1.74. Right now they're at 62. They opened at 45, so not too bad. Open Door down 3%. Honest down 18%. That one got hit. Oscar right here is up 5%. Amazon's down 0.2. I mean, it's been a relatively flat day across the board. Some of these stocks going green, others going green and then going red. S&P 500 looks like it's going to end out the day red, 631.35. You did have Duolingo that at one point was up 35%, 460. Now it's at 395. And that's likely because of what GPT came out with, which was presumed to be a language app killer, just given how good their models were. I'm not really buying that argument, but nonetheless, the market is, and that's why that stock is down from the highs of the days. PayPal right here down about 2%. You got Texas Instruments, that's flat. NVIDIA was at 183.80 at one point. NVIDIA right here at 180. So a lot of those gains kind of just came down throughout the end of the day, which is okay. I mean, we have had a really good past week, and so you're giving back some of those gains that we had with momentum to the downside, but it doesn't feel like it's the worst thing in the world given how strong the market has been. MicroStrategy right here, 400, that's at 4.48%. Now, Bitcoin is moving a bit. Bitcoin right here did get above 117. Nice little green candle right there. Ethereum as well. BMNR, I think, was up 7% on the day. BMNR, yep, 7.79%. Ethereum just under 3,900, 3,868. So you do have crypto that is being fueled by Trump allowing 401ks to now have crypto and private investments. And that's what the market is getting excited about for that. Now, today is going to be a big day for earnings. So let's make our watch list right here and let me know which of these stocks people own. I think Rocket Lab is going to be the biggest one for everybody. But you got Rocket Lab, you got SoundHound, you have TTD. You have a lot of these other ones. Redwire, Nasty Ugly Day. That one was also down about 22%. But these are going to be the companies that we're looking at. Monster Energy, we'll add that to the list. SMR, XYZ. So we got XYZ. We got MNST. SMR from a nuclear perspective. Clean Spark, Materials Corporation. That's a big one. Instacart, consumer company. Will be important, especially on their advertising business. Sweet Green, Wynn Hotels. Again, more consumer stuff that we'll be looking at. The data center plays in the morning, Nebius, they had a great run, and they're up still about 20% right here. Atlassian, Serve Robotics. Take Two. That one we've got. ABCL. And I think these are and then Pinterest. Then you got Pinterest. So we'll take a look at it as many of the other names as we can, but these are a lot of the names: Rocket Lab, SoundHound, Trade Desk, Square or Block, Monster, SMR, CleanSpark, MP, Instacart, Win, Sweet Green, Serve, Atlassian, Take Two, ABCL, and Pinterest. Oh, and then Texas Roadhouse. We have that one as well. Okay, that can't even fit on the list because the max you can have is 16, but we'll take a look at Texas Roadhouse as well. So got a lot of stuff. CoreWeave is not today. CoreWeave earnings is not today. Or am I wrong about that? I think CoreWeave, I feel like, is next week. Oh no, is that actually today? CoreWeave. No, it's August 12th. It's next week. Okay. Next week. So we'll take a look at CoreWeave next week. So here's the question on the poll. Let's start this off right here and see what people think. Which one of these names do you think outperforms on the earnings today? Which one outperforms? Out of all of these, I own Rocket Lab. So that's the only one I have. 2,100 shares at $22.95 is my average on Rocket Lab. But curious to see which ones outperform. So let's do the top four. Which one outperforms? Let's do Rocket Lab, SoundHound. I know a lot of people have that one. I guess we'll do Square and then MP, because I know those are pretty big as well. So what do people think? Out of these, which one outperforms? It's going to be madness in about 10 minutes. It is going to be a lot of companies that we're going to be having to looking at as well. Jackson, thanks for the $10 super chat. Hey, Mick, could you give me your thoughts on UNH and would you consider buying the dip? I think UNH is cheap at these levels. I think it's cheap for a reason. 243 right here on UNH, and that has to do with a lot of the DOJ investigation stuff. If you have a time horizon of 5 years, I don't think buying UNH right here is going to be something you're upset about. I think at some point the company re-rates and this becomes pretty easy for it to at least go back to 400. Like the multiples here, even if you slash them by like 50%, you should be getting your way back up to 400. The problem here is the multiple compression. And if the street takes away UNH's historic 22 PE multiple and gives it like 15 or below, and if you're aiming for like a 17, 18 multiple, then that means their earnings guidance, which was pretty horrendous. Now, maybe that's being sandbagged, has to go up. So it's a question of, do you believe management on the sandbagging? I do think there are better opportunities. Like, honestly, I'd rather buy NVIDIA than UNH here, even though NVIDIA is at 4.3 trillion, So it's like, the question is, do you think there is such asymmetry in the undervaluation on UNH that it's worth the opportunity cost of waiting because there's going to be some massive rebound? And there will be a massive rebound. The question is when. Is it in 2 months or 2 years or in 5 years? I don't know the time frame, but I do know I'd sleep better at night with NVIDIA. But that's just me. UNH is undervalued. Yes. Is it the best opportunity in the market? I think that's debatable. But I'm not necessarily gung-ho on buying the dip just because I think there's some other tech opportunities that I'd rather buy. Tesla right here. Where is that one? Tessie is 321. Wow. Tesla. All right. Tesla getting some green as well as we get into the end of the day. Grab, are we making a little bit of a move right there? Grab, 495. Okay. Again, I think Grab egregiously is being priced down for whatever reason. So I think this one minimum should be at least in the 530s, 540s. But nonetheless, you got Grab making a little bit of a move right there, up about 4%. Duolingo up 14, and then the S&P looks like it's going to end red for the day. Now, in terms of GPT-5, what did Sam Altman announced? I mean, you guys saw it with me together on the stream. It was pretty cool. They announced what they are calling the best model in the world in terms of coding and writing. An integrated model, meaning no more model switcher. Model that decides when it needs to move or think harder or not. And very smart, intuitive, and fast. It was pretty cool, the demo that they showed. I do think, though, from a couple of the people I talked to since the announcement, that it's a little bit of them trying to hide the truth to an extent. I mean, when you see the picture they put out in regards to the model, this is a Chad. He put out a little meme right here for his benchmark review for ship post engineering with him and Iliano. This is the actual numbers that OpenAI used. As you can see, the 74.9 is really bigger than the 69.1. And then the 30.8 is almost exactly the same size as the 69.1. So it's just kind of a little, the way they're framing it a bit off. And Elon has just been annoyed the whole day. He does not think that people should be giving them any attention. And he said GPT-5 will be coming soon. This is the exact thing that he said right here. Grok 4 Heavy was smarter 2 weeks ago than GPT-5 is now. And G4 Heavy is already a lot better. Let that sink in. And he thinks GPT-5 is coming out by the end of the year. So, I mean, I don't know. It was pretty impressive to me, but my takeaway, and I think it's the kind of the objective takeaway for everyone, these GPT models or these AI models in general are becoming so intelligent. Anyone's going to be able to code. Anyone's going to get legal advice. Anyone's going to have a personal assistant. That will lead to productivity, margins, and earnings growth. What does it do for society? Yet to be seen. But as investors, I think we can be very, very excited for what we saw today from GPT-5. And GPT-6, 7, 8 is only going to get better and better and better, along with Grok and Anthropic. And obviously, old roads will lead back to NVIDIA, which should be very exciting for the semiconductors. Money market funds, we're going to get an update on that later as well. Oh, nope, we already got an update. Wow, here you go, folks. All right, 5 minutes till the market closes. Money market funds have increased by 76 billion in the past week. A record 7.15 trillion are now here in money market funds. What's weird about this is I think that Friday, this includes last Friday when we dipped 2% on the S&P. I think maybe people took some profits that Friday, or that at least they got out of the stock market and they just put their money into money market funds. So maybe that's including the volatility we had to the downside, and maybe some of that money left since then and came back into the markets. But again, you got a lot of money on the sidelines, and inevitably when rates get cut, which they will get cut Trump is going to be announcing his new Fed president, I think, in the next couple of weeks here. We should see some more momentum with that money leaving. So we're going to see kind of how that plays out as we get towards the end of the year. We got about 5 minutes until earnings. 53% of you say Rklb is going to outperform. Here's a quick update on some of the stocks that we had today as well. And that we will get into the earnings madness that is today.
Bryn, thanks. Bryn Talkington. We'll see you soon. Let's send it now to Christina Partsinevelos for a look at the biggest names moving into the close. Christina?
Let's start with shares of the Texas-based rocket maker Firefly surging after making its market debut here at the NASDAQ just a few hours ago. Shares are up 44%. The stock priced in its initial public offering yesterday at $45 each, which was above its expected range. Now it's at $64.70. There's a huge crowd partying upstairs. Duolingo hiked current quarter revenue guidance, and it's translating actually right now to a banner day for Duolingo as well. The stock up almost 15%. The language learning app is off its day's earlier highs, but still soaring just on this strong earnings report that it posted. Last but not least, Fortinet shares moving in the opposite direction after issuing weaker than expected revenue guidance following its report. Morgan Stanley, Piper Sandler, KeyBank all downgraded this cybersecurity name, and that's why you're seeing shares plunge 24%, Scott.
All right. And that's been hurting all the other cybersecurity names. For those wondering, CrowdStrike, Palo Alto, what's happening? It's basically because of Fortinet not really having the best guidance and getting downgraded. So the whole sector took a little bit of a hit today. All right, we got 3 minutes. Palantir as we get into the close. Wow, Palantir going for 182 into the close. Again, we hit 184 today. NVIDIA right here trying to go for 181. And then Hoodie, are we at 111? We're actually at 111. Not bad, dude. I don't know if we're going to get the 112 close, but it's very nice that we at least got to above 110. I think Hood minimum should be 120 after those earnings. So we're going to see how that one plays out. Again, S&P looks like it's not happening tomorrow, although Paramount will continue to stay in the S&P 500. So September is going to be the next bet. And we'll see how this one ends up playing out. Also, Trade Desk. Yes, we do have those companies. We got a lot of companies after the bell. TTD is there. Soundhound, Rocket Lab, Monster, Block, Texas Roadhouse, Instacart, MP, Sweet Green, Win, Atlas, and Take-Two. So we'll be trying to get all the earnings as they come through. And then today is really the last day of massive companies reporting. Next week, we have some companies here and there. But today kind of puts an end to all these companies at once. Tesla right here at 322 at the close as well. And then NVIDIA is the next big one over the coming weeks to end out August. Yeah, Bitcoin reclaimed 117. Very nice to see that as well. I mean, it was a good day. It could have been a really great day. We gave back some of the gains. That's okay. I think that's totally fine. I'll take Palantir 182, Robinhood 111. SoFi even got 22 on the day. And this is with the S&P 500 looking like it's going to close red, even though it's making a push for it in the last 30 seconds. So not a bad day as we get very close to ending out the first week of trading for the month of August. All right, folks, here we go. Lots of people I know own Rocket Lab. Let me know which of these stocks you guys are heavy in. Rocket Lab's the big one for me, and let's see what they can put up. We should be getting numbers as soon as the bell closes or as soon as the market closes, and then we will try to see what this earnings season looks like as we end out the day. All right, here we go. Thursday, August 7th. Thank you, everybody, for being here at 4 p.m. The stock market is now closed. All right, market closes. Tesla 322. Not too bad for Tessie. Palantir gets the 182 close. First ever close above 182 on Palantir. Yesterday, this was at 179 on the close. So pretty incredible for Palantir getting that close. And then Hoodie, did we get 111? We got a 111.23 on Hoodie. Not too bad for those two names. Bitcoin right here, 117. BMNR at 41. Duolingo at 390. You got the S&P 500 that closed just 48 cents down on the day, 0.08%, 632. It was at 637 in the morning, so not too bad for the S&P. You got Dutch Bros right here. That was up 21% on the day. Duolingo as well, up 13% on the day. AppLovin, which had a great day, that is up 12%. And then you had Tesla at 327 or 322. NVIDIA right here at 180.77 on the day. AMD also nice recovery since yesterday, up about 6%, 5.69 on the day. Broadcom did hit all-time highs 303. It was at 308 at one point. That was up about 0.5% on the day. All right, here we go. Earnings. We are going to see what move. SoundHound is the first move. Oh, trade desk. No. SoundHound is up 2. Trade desk down 11. This company just got included into the S&P 500 like 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, roundabout. Trade desk, there you go. That's your first red candle of the day, down 14. SoundHound's up 2. Rocket Lab's up 1.3. Trade desk looks like the numbers are not pretty. At least the market's not liking it on the immediate release. Let me pull this up right here. Wow, that one got just slammed as soon as the market closed. Let's see what the numbers are that are that bad. The market's not liking. Let me pull this up. By the way, 13Fs and 13Gs are coming out like every single day. So we're going to see a lot more of those coming out soon and see what happens to that. Rocket Lab earnings are not out yet. Not that I see anything from that, but you do have a 1% move. SoundHound is up 5%. Trade desk down 20%, bro. Why is the street so mad? 41 cents versus 41 cents expected EPS. Revenue 694 versus 686. Revenue's up 20% year over year. EPS is up 5% year over year. They're really taking it down 24% on a in line with EPS and a beat on revenue. My goodness, that's ugly. Square, XYZ, that's flat. Monster's flat. SMR's flat. CleanSpark's flat. We don't have a lot of numbers yet. SoundHound, I'll try to get those numbers. I don't see them yet, but that's up 4%. Rocket Lab don't have their numbers yet, but Trade Desk, dude, they just let it into the S&P 500. So that's very weird. Very, very weird. That's also, they're in the same average. They don't do exactly what AppLovin does, but they're in the advertising space, and AppLovin crushed it. Either it shows that AppLovin's really doing well in ad tech and Trade Desk is not, or that there's some issues with the overall advertising sector. But then Meta and Google crushed earnings, so there shouldn't be an issue with the advertising sector. Remember, this stock was 120 in February and it fell to 60. Then it got into the S&P 500. And now it's kind of back to that 65 range. 27%. No one is stepping in to buy this dip. No one. Like it, 28%, dude. What did they say? How could it be this bad? Oh my. Let me try to get some more coverage on this. Don't have any other numbers yet across the board. Trade Desk is the big one that we've got. Trying to see what else we can get. That is ugly, dude. There's a gap at 61. Well, gaps get filled, right? I mean, goodness gracious. My, oh my. All right. Looking for some of these other companies and seeing what we can get. So that was Trade Desk. Still trying to see what else we have. Again, Trade Desk right here down 25%. SoundHound's up 2. Rocket Lab starts going red. Very little red. Almost was down 1%. Now it's green. Rocket Lab did bounce to 45.30, then came back down. Don't have their numbers yet. CleanSpark's up 1.2. Appcellera's up 0.5%. Pinterest is down a little bit. Square is up 7. Square is up 7. All right. Square looks like you got some positive numbers on Square. And that should be helping that one out. Square, again, they just did get into the S&P 500. But still trying to get Rocket Lab numbers as well. Square, okay, revenue 7.3 versus 6.2 billion. That's a beat. EPS 81 cents versus 63 cents. That's a beat. It looks like those are the numbers. It looks like they beat on the top and the bottom, which makes sense. That one is up 6%. That one is up 6%. Salesforce just bought a company, WA2, plans to integrate WA2 into Salesforce Data Cloud. Maybe that's why the stock was down today, because the market knew they were buying a company. Salesforce up a little bit after hours, was down 3% on the day. Usually when a company acquires another company, the company doing the acquisition tends to see their stock fall because they're spending money on the acquisition. So Salesforce looks like they made an acquisition for WA2. I've never heard of that company. And Enterprise Text-to-SQL API. They bought an Enterprise Text-to-SQL API product. Okay. I don't know how much they paid for that, but that's what you got on Salesforce. All right, so you got Block. That's up 7% with a beat on the top and the bottom. You got Trade Desk that's still down. Now Block's up 10%. Trade Desk still down 27. SoundHound up 2. Rklb, no numbers yet. Atlassian, no numbers. Take-Two, no numbers. Accelera, no numbers. Instacart's up 3%. Let's see if we can get those numbers. Serve Robotics, no numbers yet on them either. Probably a lot of them are going to be coming out in the next couple minutes as well. All right, so CleanSpark, we got the number 78 versus 50 on EPS. That's a 56% beat. 198 versus 200 on revenue. That's a miss by 1%. Revenue's up 91% year over year. EPS is up 176% year over year. CleanSpark's up 4%. CleanSpark has been an unmitigated disaster when it comes to the Bitcoin miners. I was in this in January 2024. I left, I made like 10%, and I immediately took that money and put it into Robinhood. I mean, the Bitcoin miners have been just disgusting as a trade. They really haven't done much. Unless you become a Bitcoin treasury as a miner, I mean, these miners have just been a horrible, horrible investment. So this thing, I sold it around this price. No, I sold it at 19, and then it fell to 15, then it fell to 10, then it fell to 8, then it's kind of stayed at 10. So really, CleanSpark has not been able to do much since then, but really none of the Bitcoin miners have outside of Marathon that started buying more Bitcoin. Yeah, this is a cyclical one. You really can't overstay your welcome with the Bitcoin miners, but it's up 3%. And they have yet to create a Bitcoin treasury, which a lot of the CleanSpark shareholders have been asking for, but the company just isn't going down that route. SoundHound right here is up 6%. Going to try to see what their numbers are. SMR is up 2. MP's down a little bit. Instacart is up 4. That is up 4. Okay, so Iran transitioned into data centers more than anything, right? That's why Iran's been able to get the bid. So they had a really nice pivot into AI data centers and working with the hyperscalers. CleanSpark, as a Bitcoin miner, has not been able to get the street to be that excited. Okay, I'm trying to find SoundHound. I don't have their numbers yet. Let me see if I can get that. Square does have a double beat, so that's why the market's excited about it. SoundHound, no numbers. SoundHound, the street wants 10 cents and 32 million in revenue. Negative 10 cents, but I don't see the numbers yet on that one. I don't know why TTD's down, dude. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Not off of a 7% revenue beat. That's weird. Or a 1% revenue beat, but still, it's not a miss. Expedia, that's up 13%. Expedia, this is the travel company. That's up 14%. Revenue 3.79 versus 3.71. That's a beat. Gross bookings 30.41. Net income 330 million. EPS 248. All right, so that's good. That means people are traveling, right? That's important. And so Expedia right there looking like we'll get some more updates on their earnings, but that's up 15%. This is a company that is 23 billion. A lot of AI talk has been happening with Expedia in terms of how can they create agentic agents, essentially, that could help do the traveling or help the traveling process play out. The CEO of Uber was actually the former CEO of Expedia, and he was at the company for about 10 years. So Expedia right there, that is up 15%. Trump did not announce the new Fed chair. He announced the new Fed governor, which doesn't really matter that much, but it's Stephen Miron, who's the current chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors. Remember that one governor that's stepping down? So this person is the person that's going to be replacing the other Fed governor, but that's not the Fed chair. So it really doesn't matter that much because their vote is not going to make that much of a difference when it comes to rate cuts. SMR right here, that's up 3%. Trade Desk still down 27. SoundHound now up 8. Still don't have their numbers yet. And Rklb, I guess Rklb's at what, 415? I don't remember Rklb being this late, but maybe I just don't exactly remember. But I guess Rklb's around either at 410 or 415. So we should be getting numbers soon. SoundHound really making a move right here, up 9%. Again, SoundHound only a $4.3 billion company. Monster Energy as well, up 7%. Or now it's up 2%. It was up 7%. So you're getting Monster Energy, getting a bit of a green candle right there, which is nice to see. Hit 64.73. Now it's 62.78. TTD replaced their CFO. Is that why the street's mad? I mean, I guess replacing the CFO is an issue. 27% though. That's, yeah. They named the all right. They replaced the CFO. I don't know if that deserves a 27% drop, but I guess so. Serve Robotics don't have their numbers yet. CleanSpark up 4. Rklb we are waiting for. SoundHound. I still don't have SoundHound. It might be moving on something outside of numbers because no one has the SoundHound numbers yet, but we should be getting it soon. And then we'll see what some of these companies look like. Let's get an update right here on Block while we're waiting. And then we should get Rocket Lab pretty soon.
Despite a miss on both the top and bottom line, EPS coming in at 62 cents. The street wanted to see 69 cents. Revenue, $6.05 billion for the quarter against estimates of $6.3 billion. I'm seeing transaction revenue coming in line with estimates. Same thing with subscription and services revenue. GPV, that is a read on how the Cash App and Square business is doing. That came in slightly ahead of estimates, $66.62 billion versus $66.32 billion. Bitcoin revenue, though, a miss, $2.14 billion against $2.48 billion. Investors are pretty bullish, though, up 8% in after-hours trade. Back to you.
Okay. Mackenzie?
All right, so Block getting some momentum. SoundHound trying to see these results. Should be getting it soon. Okay, here we go. SoundHound revenue $42.7 million, up from $13 million last year. Okay. SoundHound right here up 8%. So you got 42. That seems like a beat on the top. Company said it saw new wins from healthcare companies, automotive brands, and restaurants, including Red Lobster and IHOP. SoundHound's quarterly loss widened to $74.9 million or 19 cents a share, so they missed on the bottom. Street wanted negative 10 cents a share. CEO said, in restaurants, we used to knock on their door and try to educate them that AI automation can be beneficial, so you wouldn't get some of the proof of concepts budgets from forward-looking ones, but now they're knocking on our doors. It's not a POC anymore, it's a mandate. They raised their full-year revenue outlook to be between 160 and 178 million, up from 157 to 177. All right, so they raised guidance. They missed on EPS, raised guidance. The market likes it. I mean, that's not horrible. And that's why it's up 8%. And that's why it's up 8%. Rocket Lab, 415. So in 2 minutes, we get the results on Rocket Lab. 2 minutes, we should get the results on Rocket Lab. Square is up 3%. SoundHound up 8%. Instacart up 12. 64.20 it hit. Now it's at 55. Instacart, again, really good for the consumer. We saw this with DoorDash. If people are ordering food, ordering groceries, and they're willing to pay the fees to do that ordering, we do have some more disposable income that is out there. Again, CleanSpark with a miss on revenue, but a beat on EPS, and that's what's helping that stock up 3%. Instacart revenues, 41 cents versus 42. So a miss on EPS, revenue 914 versus 896. That's up 11% year over year. So they beat on revenue, missed on EPS. But they are profitable, which is good. And so that's green. Twilio. Does Twilio report today? I don't think Twilio, do they? Twilio? No, Twilio does report today. Yeah, okay, so that's another one. Twilio, I don't have the results yet. That's up 1.3. But Twilio, we'll see in a second what happens with their report. Epsilera, I don't have the numbers yet on them. A lot of these numbers are a little slower to come out today. We should be getting more of them between 4:15 and 4:20. But so far, we had Block, we had Trade Desk, we had SoundHound, we had CleanSpark, we had Instacart. And now in about 30 seconds, we should get Rocket Lab. We should get Rocket Lab. We got Live Nation as well, 7 billion versus 6.84 expected, EPS 41 cents, expecting to open large new venues in 2026. Live Nation, that stock, let's see. That is down 2.4. All right. Live Nation, that's not that super volatile either. But again, it's good to see companies like Live Nation beat. I mean, people are going out, they're buying tickets to concert and shows, and you don't get Live Nation beating if that's not happening. Rock Lab, all right, we're green. We're green. 3.3, 3.3, 45.78, 4%. Let's see if it can hold 5%. There she goes. 46.22. For that to reverse now, you would have to go down a whole 5%. Let's see if Rocket Lab can keep it up. Let's see if I can get these numbers. So far on first look, numbers seem to be exciting the street. 4.5. Don't have the numbers yet. They should be out any second. Rocket Lab trying to hold on. Now you're at 3%, so it's giving up a little bit of that move. 4.2, 4.3. Let's see. It could be a fake out. Yeah, it could be a fake out. It could absolutely be a fake out. A lot of this stuff happens super quick, and then it can go the opposite direction. I don't see the numbers. I'm refreshing. Their website looks like it's crashing, dude. Rocket Lab, dude, Rocket Lab community. They are pressing refresh. Yeah, nothing on their website yet. News. Nope, nothing on the investor relations. 5.6. All right, she's moving. Yep, I have no numbers on Rklb. I've got nothing on Rklb. 7%. Got nothing. I've got nothing. She's $2 away from 50. Nothing's on the website, so whoever sees it must be liking the numbers so far. Rklb just tweeted a link to their webcast, but they did not post their results yet. Nope, no numbers. No numbers. I don't see them. They're not on the website yet either. Should be getting it soon. Texas Roadhouse, that stock is, let me see, down 2%. I'll try to get their numbers in a second, but that one's down 2%. That one has been outperforming a lot of the Max 7 over the past couple quarters as well. So Texas Roadhouse, again, has been doing a pretty good job, but that one is down 2.7. MP Materials don't have their numbers yet either. That stock is up about 1%. Rklb up 5.6. Again, still don't see any results. I don't think you guys see it either yet. SoundHound numbers were from a screenshot of the Bloomberg terminal. They didn't put the actual numbers up, but they had the screenshot. So they missed on EPS 19 cents versus 10 cents, but they raised revenue guidance. And that's why that one is green. No, I don't have Rklb. Dude, where are these numbers? I don't see them. I have Microchip 24 cents or 27 cents versus 24 cents expected, beat by 13%. Revenue 1.07 billion versus 1.06, beat by 2%. So you got Microchip. Those numbers are out. This company up about 1% after hours. Nothing too crazy. Rklb, where are these numbers? That 5% is getting faded pretty quick. Trade Desk almost down 30%. My goodness. I don't know if a CFO move is justifying a 30% downgrade or downside move on TTD, but seems like that's the main reason. Yeah, I don't see Rklb anywhere, dude. Why is it not out on the website either? They have the webcast link, but they don't have the press release. Palantir actually does, whenever the earnings come out, Palantir immediately posts them on Twitter. A lot of companies don't post the results on Twitter. And that's like a good thing to do. Yeah, look, there's the Rklb. You got the webcast link, but you do not have the earnings. Earnings in 4 hours. Yeah, I mean, where's the numbers? That 5% went away real quick. Now it's barely 1.2 and falling. Oh, no. Is she about to go red? She's like holding on by a thread. SMR is up 1.6. CleanSpark up 1.8. Fuel down. Yeah, it's not on Goodell either. I don't see it on Goodell. I'm a bit confused. Let me see. That was a big jump up if someone did see the numbers. Yeah, the website's down too, bro. Like legit, the website's down. It's like not even loading. I don't know. We gotta wait. Let's see what other companies in the meantime, but it should be coming out soon. 4:15 is usually when we see something. I mean, if it was on the Bloomberg terminal, it would have been posted by now. So it's not even a Bloomberg terminal. Like I don't think it's out there. It feels like it's not out there yet. Don't see it here. I don't see it there. Trade Desk is just Matt Money doesn't have the results either. Yeah. No one on Twitter. There's a big Rklb community on Twitter. It would have been posted by now if people had the results. Square's up 12. TTD down 30. I think this is in Tanner's and it's still falling, dude. Is this in Tanner's stock draft? The results on the stock draft end of the day, Matt's up 17, Tanner's up 11, I'm up 13.8, Steve's down 0.49, Chris is down 3.6. Yeah, Tanner does have this in his stock draft. So this one, if it doesn't recover, could be a little bit of a headwind for his portfolio. Matt does own Rklb. That's one of the main winners in his portfolio. We are waiting for these results. We should be getting it soon. TTD still down 29. Rklb, no numbers. Twilio also. I don't see numbers on Twilio either. Dude, it's not just Rklb, dude. A lot of companies You would, it's 420. You would expect more. All right, we got Atlassian. All right, 98 cents versus 85 cents. They beat by 15%. This is ticker symbol team. EPS is up 48% year over year. Revenue, they beat by 2%. Revenue is up 22% year over year. Atlassian is flat, up 1.17%. So Atlassian 1.38 billion versus 1.36 billion. Atlassian, not really that volatile of a stock, but you do have a beat on the top and the bottom. Another company that beat on earnings. Rklb, we are still waiting. I don't have MP. I don't have MP either. Maybe Rocket Lab's 430. Like, do you guys remember last quarter? I feel like usually it's immediate after the bell. So still waiting on that one. Accelera, I don't see Accelera either yet. Right now, Accelera, is that moving after hours? Accelera 2.91. Yeah, Accelera is flat. Take Two, is that one moving? Take Two is up 1.3. Nope, now it's up 7. Now it's up 8. Okay, Take Two is moving. The call is always at 5 p.m., but the numbers are out way before that. So they don't put out the numbers at 5. Take Two, all right, that one's moving. I'll see if I can get those numbers. But at least you have some green on that one. Street wants negative 72 cents at 1.3 billion. Don't have their numbers yet, but it looks like the street likes it so far. Trump speaking. Is Trump live? Is Trump live right now? Dude, is Trump about to go? Trump's making it. Okay, let me, while we're waiting for Rocket Lab, I guess Trump's making a major economic announcement.
10 times more income for the average family than Joe Biden is because of your policies.
And that's taken into consideration COVID, which a lot of times you don't have to do that. But
Because we were
I'm very glad you did.
Over
No, we were
almost 8,000 until.
Look at that number.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we looked at, which families did the best. And we have data from the Census Bureau that shows by income percentage. So the 25th percentile is the lowest income, 75th percentile is the highest income. And what I find fascinating about this, Mr. President, is every income group did better. The red is...
Okay, I don't know what the announcements are, but MP is up, folks. MP is up 11%. Materials Corporation, that one's green. I don't know exactly what the announcements are that they're making, but you got MP that's up. Rocket Lab is now down 0.5%, but I don't see the numbers. I do not see the numbers, folks, and I don't want to trust any random tweets just putting out numbers. If someone has the numbers, let me know, but it doesn't look like you have the numbers. MP is there. Pinterest, I think we do have some proper numbers. Let me pull this up real quick. Oh, no, we got Rocket Lab. All right, here we go. 13 cents versus 11 cents. They missed by 18% on EPS. Revenue, they beat by 7%. EPS is down 63% year over year. Revenue is up 36% year over year. Rocket Lab is green. Rocket Lab is green. All right, so you have a miss on EPS. You have a beat on revenue. They're inching further away from profitability, but could be for good reason as they're growing. Revenue's up 36% year over year. Rocket Lab was at 47. Now it's at 45.20. A little bit of a muted reaction. I did think they would get closer to being profitable. It seems like they're getting further away from that. But again, it's a growth stock. There might be some more initiatives they need to invest in, which will cause them to lose money in the short term. But Rocket Lab right here, 3%. MP Materials, this is the earnings right here. Q2 revenue, 57 million versus 45. That's a beat. GAAP EPS, negative 19 cents. It looks like that's a beat on the bottom line as well. So you got two beats, top and bottom, for MP. Again, they've been getting a lot of investments and a lot of press based on their strategic importance when it comes to rare earth minerals. And that's why that stock has been doing well. MP right here up 10%. This is a $12 billion company that did about 70 million in revenue. I mean, it's getting a 55 times price to sales. You got strategic investments by the DoD and Apple. So a lot of people are just betting that rare earth minerals are going to matter a lot. And that's why MP is getting the surge that it's getting. There you go. Now up almost 11% on the day. There you go. 11.72%. Rocket Lab is Looking like it's about to go red. Looking like it's about to go red. Yeah, EPS is down 63% year over year. I mean, look, they don't need to be profitable. It is one thing that I think could get the street very excited, given the stock is expensive, just on a lot of different metrics. But, you know, Neutron matters more likely than profitability right now. All right, there you go. Now Rocket Lab, it touched going red. It's kind of flattish red. Any pump that was there is gone, at least for now. At least for now. I mean, those earnings aren't blockbuster earnings. That's the thing, you know? I mean, it's good. It's not like, oh my goodness type of good. But it's also not horrible. So I don't think it needs to go down 10%. I don't think you need to expect a massive 10% move either. I don't know what these Trump economic announcements are. I'll try to find out in a second. But it looks like right now they're just showing a bunch of charts. Let's go back to this real quick, and then I'll try to get some other numbers.
We're going to speak about soldiers. We'll see you over for.
Thank you, press. 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 Thank you, press.
Okay. Well, that was President Trump in the Oval Office, obviously on the heels of this news that he is looking to nominate CEA Chair Steve Myron to that vacancy on the Fed. Just tuning in there to see what other news we could get here for our investing audience. But we're going to check out shares of Figma because those are falling.
Okay, Rocket Lab's now dumping. I don't know what Trump announced. I'll try to get the summary of the whatever economic announcement, but we don't see anything there yet. Rocket Lab now, she's going down 6%. Now she's going red. Oh boy, now she's falling. Let's see if that can reverse. That means the initial 6% was a head fake. The initial 6% was a head fake. Let me go to Rocket Lab's website, try to get some more stats on this one, and then we'll get some of the other companies as well. Yeah, Take-Two beat EPS by 90%, revenue beat by 6%. That's why that one is green. And that one's doing okay. All right, here is the press release from Rocket Lab. Stock's down almost 7%. Let's see what we got. Sir Peter Beck, Rocket Lab has delivered impressive gross margin expansion and another record revenue result this past quarter, driven by a strong operational performance and program execution that has held us on track for a record year of launches and spacecraft delivery. It has also been a busy quarter of M&A as we progressed our acquisition of Geost, strongly positioning ourselves to meet the needs of the defense initiatives like the Golden Dome with end-to-end mission solutions across launch, spacecraft, and now payloads. We're confident on our strategic investments and will drive new growth opportunities that will drive us towards long-term profitability, particularly as we guide towards another record quarter for Q3. Q3, they expect 145 to 155 million, GAAP gross margins of 37%, 41% of non-GAAP, adjusted EBITDA loss of 23 million, and about 528 million shares that will be left. Sir Peter Beck also said, on the launch side of the business, with 5 flawless missions executed, Electron maintains its leadership position as the world's leading small orbital rocket with a rising launch cadence and increasing international demand for its services. We've also made steady progress with our reusable medium lift rocket Neutron, with Launch Complex 3 now largely complete and flight hardway on its way for its first launch, bringing us closer to delivering disruptive competition to the launch industry for our commercial and national security customers. Okay. Cool. So, I mean, you know, good stuff by Rocket Lab. I mean, they're doing what they have to do. It's not a quarter that's amazing, not a quarter that's horrible. Stock was down 7, now it's down 2. I mean, it seems like it's a flat reaction. Seems like it's a flat reaction. You're not getting too much good, you're not getting too much bad, and it is what it is. No launch date on Neutron. Yeah, it did not. I mean, I mean, maybe on the call he said something different, but there was no definitive date for Neutron yet. He did say in an interview a couple months ago, or a couple of weeks ago, that he wants to do end of 2025, but you know, that's not guaranteed. We're gonna have to see, but most likely 2026 does seem to be on the horizon. Serve Robotics, they missed on EPS by 64 cents, 36 or 64%, 36 cents versus 22 cents expected. Revenue $642,000 versus 642.5. Serve Robotics, this company is down 11%. EPS is down 33% year over year. Revenue is up 37% year over year. How about Twilio? Let me get that up. Twilio is down 7%. Twilio goes down. Very similar to Trade Desk so far. Let's see those numbers. Revenue $1.23 billion, up 13% year over year. GAAP income from operations, 37 million. CEO says the company's focus on execution is paying off as Q2 marked another quarter of accelerated year-over-year revenue growth, as well as non-GAAP income from operations. During the quarter, Twilio showcased our latest innovations at our user conference, further centering data, AI, and communications to create amazing experiences for the world's leading brands. Twilio, for those that don't know, whenever you sign up for a service and then it asks you to put in your phone number and then get a confirmation code, Twilio is the backend for most companies that sends you that message to your phone. And then you have to type in that like code to enter into any product. Most of that is Twilio SMS in the background. Twilio right here down 9%. Down 9% on the day. Chime, I don't even know if Chime had earnings today, but Chime is down 8%. It looks like they did have earnings. I'll try to get that. But Chime is down. Epsilera, that's up 6%. Don't have their numbers yet either, but that's up 450. Again, that was at 580 a couple weeks ago, so that one has taken a little bit of a haircut. But we should see their numbers soon. 17 million in revenue. It looks like for Epsilera, which should be a beat. And I don't see EPS. But they do have about 750 million in cash, it looks like. I mean, that's not horrible. That's not horrible. SoundHound had a good quarter. They missed on EPS. They beat on revenue. SoundHound right there up 7%. And they raised guidance as well. So SoundHound at least is green. Trade Desk still down 27%. Blocks up 11. Monsters up 3. SMR goes down. That's down 5%. Wynn Resorts, that's flat. Sweet Green. Oh no. Let me know if anyone's ate at Sweet Green before. That's down 17%. They sell salads, if I'm not wrong. Looks like that's a bit of an earnings miss. Pinterest, I'll get Pinterest in a second. On SMR, by the way, they missed on EPS. They missed on revenue by 31%. So revenue is up 8x year over year. Or EPS is up 8x year over year. Revenue is down 40% quarter over quarter. So that one's getting hit. Take-Two, they beat by 90% on EPS, beat by 6% on revenue. And then MP, they beat by 35% on EPS, beat by 26% on revenue. That's why that is green. ABCL, I don't have the exact numbers yet. I'll try to get it in a second, but still don't have that numbers. Okay, these are the numbers. Yeah, GAAP EPS 12 cents versus 4. Revenue 17 million versus 10. Okay, so they beat by 7 million on revenue for ABCL, and they beat by about 7 cents on EPS, which is good. You know, it's not horrible. I don't know if it's a monster quarter, but that stock is up 4% after hours. Again, ABCL, I'll say it again, it really is 100x or it's 0, right? So the earnings are largely irrelevant to you. I mean, really, if you're an ABCL investor, you don't care about the numbers, you care about the progress the company's making on their drugs and their platform to build more drugs. Like the progress on that matters a lot more than just EPS or revenue. But it looks like they did beat expectations, and that's why that's up 4%. Rklb, are we back? Are we recovering a little bit? Rklb, it was down 7. Now it's down 2. Okay, little recovery. Hit 41. Now it's back at 43. But nothing massive for that. Wouldn't that be similar for Rklb? Yeah, I mean, look, that's a fair point. Rklb, I mean, if most long-term investors, the earnings is just an update because the long-term is what they're going to be able to do in space, especially with Neutron. But with Epsilera, it's just way more risky, dude. Epsilera is like legit. The drugs have to work, you know? So like the EPS and revenue really is like, okay, whatever. But for Rklb, at least they have meaningful revenues that we can look at, and a growth rate that's above 30% here. TTD got absolutely slammed. Yeah, that one. Apparently the CFO leaving was bearish. And I don't know why. I guess there's a deeper story there, but we'll see. Serve Robotics right here down 11. Atlassian down 3. Take-Two up 4. Again, Take-Two also to me is not that important until we get Grand Theft Auto, right? That's the main reason people care about this stock. So this one, I think May of 2026, you get GTA 6. Someone said something funny on the GPT-5 release. They were like, what if you can just code up GTA 6 before they actually release it? You can just tell ChatGPT to make it for you. That's the big thing on that one. Ethereum is trying to go for 4K after hours. Ethereum right there, 38.65. Dude, 4K has been like, it's been like this weird psychological resistance for Ethereum for like the past month. Now, granted, it was at 2,500 last month, so it has made a big move, but getting above 4K and holding it, I think would be important. Amit plays GTA 6 because that's the only place he can truly bully people. That's funny, but I actually don't play GTA 6. The last GTA I played was Vice City, and that was like, I don't know, 15 years ago. That was a long time ago. But I didn't play GTA 5 or any of these games, but I don't play video games anymore, but Vice City is the one that I did play. All right, here's Win. Let's get their earnings as well and see what they got.
9 per share versus consensus expectations of $1.21. Listen, I want to highlight here the sharp departure that we're seeing in results in Las Vegas from its competitors. Wynn set a second quarter record for profits in Las Vegas with adjusted property EBITDA of $235 million versus the street's expectation of $221 million. We just heard weakness from Caesars, from MGM room rates lower, not so for Wynn, and that's important because we've seen international visitation decline there as well. Macau missed on all metrics, in part because of bad luck where it really matters. The VIPs got lucky, and Wynn, not so much. There you're seeing the shares off.
I have heard anecdotally that Vegas is dead right now. Let me know if anyone can confirm, but I've talked to a couple people. I'll be in Vegas in September, so I'll be able to tell you guys myself. But from a couple of people that live down there, they're saying Vegas is dead. And the Strip is dead, and the summer has been horrible for Vegas. So that is one thing to think about as well. Pinterest CEO, I'm proud of our Q2 results, delivering 17% revenue growth and another quarter of record users. We're also excited that Gen Z has grown to half of our user base. Revenue, $998 million, up 17% year over year. MAUs, 11% year over year, 578 million. GAAP net income, 39 million. Adjusted EBITDA, 251. Net cash, 208 million. That's what you got on Pinterest. That stock is down 6%. No, 10%. A little ugly. A little ugly on Pinterest. All right. You're getting some weakness there on Pinterest. I mean, those are good numbers. 17% revenue growth. Half of their demographic is now Gen Z. 11% MAU growth. That is not horrible for Pinterest. I mean, it's not some blowout quarter, but it's also not the worst thing. Pinterest now down 11%. Street does not like it. Street does not like it. Epsilera now up 14%. That one's getting some love. 482 on Epsilera. Again, they did have a beat on the top and the bottom, so that one is green. Up 14%. SMR, that one's down. Still 5%? Now 3.29. And then TTD, I'll show the numbers again, but they came in line with expectations on EPS. Revenue, they beat by 1%. But the CFO stepping down seems to be the main reason the street is not happy. 694 versus 686 on revenue. Revenue's up 19% year over year. EPS is up 5% year over year. EPS came in line at 41 cents. Trade Desk down 27. Down 27. Rocket Lab. It's kind of recovering, kind of not. Still flat, down 2. SoundHound's up 10. Trade Desk not really making a move. It was down 30. Now it's down 26. And then Instacart right here, up 7.3. So it's a little bit of a mixed after hours. I mean, you got Epsilera that's now up 20%. So that one's moving. Epsilera is getting some love. You got Rocket Lab that's flat, down 2. SoundHound's up 6. Square's up 7. MP's up 9. Instacart's up 7. And then Sweetgreen's down 20. Win's down 2. Serve's down 10. Atlassian's down 1. Trade Desk down 26. And Pinterest down 12. So there you go. Could we get a GTA 6 release date before ETH hits 4K? That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. So Epsilera is the biggest mover after hours. Epsilera is the biggest mover, at least to the upside. Up 20% right here. Again, EPS and revenue beat. There's got to be something more probably in the actual data that they're putting out that the street should be excited about. That was a little bit of a slow mover, but now you have your mover up 20%. Grinder earnings, is that out? Grinder, wow, dude. 17%. My goodness. I mean, let's pull it up. Let's see. What did they say? Looks like gay dating is not really going that well. Net income of 17 million, revenue growth of 27%. Net income margin of 16%, adjusted EBITDA of 45 million. CEO says Grindr delivered another strong quarter, keeping us firmly on track to achieve our 2025 outlook. We are delivering on our performance objectives and continue to execute on a high level with our product innovation and AI roadmaps. Now down 12%. Yeah, this one is also not, I mean, the volume on the stock is not that heavy, so a lot of moves up or down. I mean, it's very thinly traded, but revenue growth of 27%. They are profitable, adjusted EBIT of 100 million. Looks like the street does not like it. Instacart right here up 8%, MP's up 8, CleanSpark's up 2, and Trade Desk still down 26%. Still down 26%. I did not support them by buying a subscription. They did. But it looks like a lot of people didn't if their stock is getting hit this much. But they beat on revenue, so I don't know. The street must be mad about something else. Okay, guys, this thing that's going around, 65 million SoFi shares bought by Jane Street, this does not matter. Like, like these accounts that are saying, look at how much BlackRock and Jane Street are buying. These guys have to buy shares of every company in the market. Like, so Jane Street, Citadel, BlackRock, all of these guys, they literally have to own shares of everything. So I would not take it seriously that Jane Street bought shares of SoFi. They are market makers. They have to have shares of every single company. So yeah, I would not read into that. Even if they bought 1 million shares of Palantir, it's like, that doesn't matter. They have to own Palantir. They're selling calls and puts against, like they have to own those shares. So yeah, I wouldn't take that seriously. But it is some buying pressure. It's just they could sell those shares immediately after they get it, not through literally selling that, but through the form of option contracts. So to me, it's not the most important thing. Instacart right here now up 9%, Accelera up 16%, and then Monster up 2.8%. Up 2.8%. I'm trying to get an understanding of what the heck Trump announced in that like surprise live stream that he did. I don't see exactly what the announcements were, but it was something that he had to go live about and that the street kind of took seriously when he came out with what he said. Let me see if I can get some data on that. And then we'll see what else he got. Yeah, it's who I forgot. It's the Fed governor. That was the main thing he announced. That's right. They had some charts, but it was mainly the Fed governor. The Fed governor, again, that doesn't even matter because usually the Fed votes in a unanimous fashion. So it doesn't matter if there's a bullish Fed or a dovish Fed governor. At the end of the day, you have to get everyone to agree on the rate cut. Oh, wow. Rklb provides the opportunity for retail shareholders to attend the opening event of the Neutron launch site in Virginia. That's really cool. That's really cool for Rklb. Accelera now up 13% after being up 20%. Rklb recovering a little bit. Okay, so then when is Neutron launching then? If they're allowing retail analysts and shareholders to be part of the event in Virginia. That's really cool, dude. Yeah, I don't have a date for this Virginia thing, but it looks like that's what they've announced. Maybe it's a preliminary announcement for them. There was no S&P 500 inclusion today, for those that are asking. Not tomorrow, not today. September is when you're going to get the new rebalance, but nothing today, nothing after hours. Someone's saying August 28th. I don't see that number. Let me see if I can confirm that. If that's the case, Neutron's launching in August. If it's August 28th, I mean, that would seem pretty bullish, but I don't see any confirmation on that. That would be pretty cool. Dude, should we all go to Virginia? See Neutron launch? That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. Rklb right here down about 1%, recovering a bit. MP still up 8%. CleanSpark up 1.3. Monsters up 2.8. Take Two up 4. Atlassian is down 2. And then Win is down 2. So the big movers were Accelera and Trade Desk. Accelera to the upside, Trade Desk to the downside. There's nothing to do in Virginia. Isn't Virginia super close to DC? That DMV area? Like that's, I think I was at DC a couple months ago. Rklb. I'm trying to see if they have a date on this. I don't have a date. Oh, I don't see a date. It looks like they put it in the press release, but they didn't put a date on exactly when they're doing it. Let's see. Sezzle. Okay, let me look at that. This is a fintech, if I'm not wrong. SEZL. Sezzle. Let me see if I can pull up their earnings right here. Sezzle, that is, wow, Sezzle down 30%. Okay, that one got hit. That's a $4 billion company. Let me see if I can get their results. This is a fintech. Sezzle, GMV 927 million. I don't see revenue and EPS. I don't see revenue and EPS. Sezzle right here down 30%. I don't see any earnings for these guys. It feels like it's dropping without even having earnings, which is weird. There's got to be earnings, but I don't see it. Oh, I got it. All right, 927 million in revenue, 28 million in net income. There you go. So they're that looks like a beat on revenue, a miss on EPS. Stock's down 30%. Stock's down 30%. That's aggressive, though, bro. That's aggressive. Sezzle right there, 28% down. Sezzle and Trade Desk, they're the big ones today. That took a bit of a beating. Trade Desk right there, down 27%. SoundHound up 7%. And then Rocket Lab goes green. All right, you're getting some green on Rocket Lab. You're getting some green on Rocket Lab. Yes. Okay. So the Virginia thing is real. We don't have a date for that yet, though. I'm going to try to find the date. I mean, it doesn't look like Neutron's happening August 28th, but if it does, I mean, that'd be awesome. But it doesn't look like that is the day. Rocket Lab did post a video of this as we're waiting, as Rocket Lab goes green. So this is pretty cool. Fly closed 30% of the day. That's green. I mean, that was a good IPO, but obviously it's an IPO, so it will also be volatile over the coming days. Twilio's down 17. Yeah, Twilio is also getting hit. All right, so I think those are the main earnings that we got. There's no S&P today. There's no S&P inclusion today. Trying to see what companies we didn't take a look at. I think we got most of them. Instacart. Let me see that one. I don't think we looked at Instacart. If they beat on the top and the bottom. Instacart, we got revenue of 914 million, EPS of 41 cents. Okay, so Instacart, this one was green, or this one was at least a beat. That stock's up 10% now as well. Yeah, we looked at ABCL. We looked at what? Why are you guys saying UNH? Is UNH moving after hours? UNH? Well, it's down a little bit, but UNH already had earnings, remember. UNH had earnings last week, and EPS growth was not good. We looked at Expedia as well, and Expedia was, I mean, pretty good, and that's why that stock was up. Rocket Lab, again, for those that missed the numbers, this is what we had. You had a miss by 18% on EPS, and you had a beat by 7% on revenue. Kratos, did they have earnings today? Let me see. Kratos, this is another defense company. Yeah, we got Kratos earnings, 350 million versus 300. That's a beat. EPS 11 cents versus 14 cents. That is a miss. So they missed on EPS. They beat on revenue. 13 billion order pipeline. Adjusted EBITDA, they raised to 114 million. And revenue, they raised to 1.3 billion. Kratos stock, KTOS, let's see, that one is down 3%. Okay. So, I mean, you had a miss and a beat, and that one is now down. This is a small cap, though, right? This one is, yeah, 9. I mean, that's not a super small cap, but $10 billion company. This is one of the names that Pete Hegseth mentioned when it came to defense names. By the way, Apple, 220 on the close. Very, very nice for Apple. AppLovin as well, 435. But Kratos should get a lot more of a bid from the Pentagon and the DoD procuring defense contracts or procuring defense hardware. But that stock is down 3%. So you got that down 3. Trump is not live yet. He was live, and now he's not live. He was announcing the new nomination of the Fed Gov, or the Fed governor. But that was pretty much it. Let's get a little bit of an update on kind of earnings and how AI spend has been happening throughout this earnings cycle, and then we'll keep going from there.
NVIDIA, right? They're on either side of the AI build out. They're all up, between 23 and 35% year to date. The S&P 500 is up less than 8% on a year to date basis. Looks like a pretty similar cadence too, right? Everyone's saying if you're leading in AI in whatever fashion, we're willing to capitalize you pretty generously. Now, look at what's going on with the valuations based on free cash flow. Now, the thing about the big cloud platform companies and social platform companies like Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, is you always were able to say, well, they have access to massive free cash flow. It's a low capital intensity business. Not anymore. So this is the free cash flow yield. It's how much free cash flow divided by the equity market cap of the companies. And you see Microsoft and Meta now down below 2%. That means the stocks are trading at more than.
It does look like Trump's about to go live again, dude. If I'm not wrong. So the one we saw was in the Oval Office. Yeah, he's about to go live again. All right, I'll switch to him when he's live. He's about to go live again. So he was in the Oval Office like literally less than 10 minutes ago. And now he's going live again to make a different announcement. So there you go.
50 times this coming year's free cash flow. This is a 12-month forward measure, whereas NVIDIA, which is collecting all the money from these companies, now has a good deal higher free cash flow yield. It's up near 3%. So not necessarily high, but definitely a beneficiary on a net basis. So implicitly, the market is saying that they believe all this spending is just going to be enlarging the pie, making everything more productive. It's not going to be redundant. It's not going to result in overcapacity anytime soon. So we'll see how long we can stay on that track in this market.
Okay. What's interesting.
All right. Content in Chief will be going live in the next, it looks like 5 minutes. They have the stream up already, and we'll see what that looks like. Trade Desk still down 27. Pinterest down 11. So, I mean, not the best performance on a lot of these names. Rklb basically flat. SoundHound up 9. I'm going to link Matt Money's channel. Matt Money will be streaming the Rklb call, which I think should be starting in maybe 15 minutes. So this is his channel right here for anyone who wants to watch the actual Rklb call and get his analysis. Matt is the person to listen to when it comes to Rklb. So you can click there and check that one out as well. Yeah, and then SoundHound, I mean, decent results. SoundHound up 10% right here. SoundHound, from my understanding, is trying to say, hey, a lot of these restaurants that can automate a bunch of different workflows they have using audio AI, that TAM is growing massively. And I don't think they're wrong about that. I mean, I experienced that the other day. I was at Starbucks. You're getting this like automated thing. And it's like, it is a pretty easy experience, and it takes away the need to necessarily have to have that one-on-one communication. But I think there's other use cases for it as well. And so there's a lot of restaurants in the world, a lot of franchises in the world that could be using that software. So, I mean, their market opportunity seems aggressive, and given the beat on revenue, it looks like they're capitalizing on that. This stock is a bit expensive, trades at 42 times sales, but also the stock was like $1 a year and a half ago. I think it was like $2. So it has done very well since then. Now, I do think it got to 20 at one point. So if you bought a little high, yeah, it got to 25 at one point in December. So, you know, there are some people that had to DCA, but before that, it was much lower. Also, yeah, there's a massive short flow, 33%. There's a massive short flow. Crocs is down from the morning. Crocs had earnings in the morning. That's why that's down 30%. They just missed their numbers. But Crocs was from the morning. Okay, Krispy Kreme, did they have earnings today? D-Nut, that's flat, but it was down 7% in the day. Trump's still not live yet. There's your earnings on Krispy Kreme. $400 million, $379 in revenue. They lost $441 million. They made $379.8 million. They took a goodwill impairment charge of $406, which is probably the reason why they lost $440. Without that goodwill impairment, it's more so a $30 million loss versus $441. Again, I don't know if Wall Street Bets cares that much about Krispy Kreme anymore, but yeah, Krispy Kreme, Open Door, Kohl's, they've kind of slowly gone back to being irrelevant. And I think that's okay. Sometimes that happens. People get excited and then they kind of just move on from it. Trade Desk did not miss, but their CFO stepped down. I don't know why that warrants a 30% decline. Does anyone own this one heavily? Is anyone in this one heavy? Like, it just seems weird, bro. 27. I mean, the chart this year has been ridiculous for Trade Desk. You were at 127 all the way up until February, fell all the way to 42, recovered all the way to 80, and then came back down to 64 today. I mean, it's just been a nasty chart all year. And then they got into the S&P 3 weeks ago. I think they're still run by a founder, if I'm not wrong. Jeff Lawson, I think. Jeff Lawson, TTD. Oh, that's Twilio. There's a different Jeff. TTD founder. Jeff Green. Jeff Green. Is he still a CEO? Yeah, he's still a CFO. Okay, so they do have a founder CEO, but not sure why the CFO leaving is that bearish. Trump's still not live yet. We are waiting. Their stream is open, but he is not live yet. He is going to go live. Looks like in about 5 minutes. Android, thanks for the $5 super chat. If I had one question on the MP earnings, I would call it when a mid buy. Look, I like MP and I like the thesis here. It's just run up a lot, bro. So it's up 7%. That doesn't mean it can't keep running further, but I just feel there's some better risk reward plays out there. But I mean, when the Pentagon bought, when Apple bought, that was really the time to buy in because it's up even more since then. But at these levels, it feels a bit aggressive. Granted, if you have a 5-year time horizon, rare earth minerals are not going anywhere. And seems like that stock can do very well. Yeah, Soundhound up 12%. I mean, Soundhound and Epsilera. Where is Epsilera? Is that one still up 20? Epsilera is now up 12. So Soundhound and Epsilera, both of these up 12%. And getting some of their momentum. Trump, is he live? All right, here we go. Trump is live. Let's bring him up.
200th day in office. This is 200 days already. Time flies. But we have a country that's the hottest country right now anywhere in the world. A year ago, it was in a lot of trouble. It's the hottest country. And a lot of the people in this room made it that way. Perhaps the most successful and consequential first 200 days, they say, of an administration in history. So let's hope they keep saying it. There they are right there. I hope they keep saying it. But even more importantly, this is also National Purple Heart Day, and we're here to honor and celebrate the unyielding patriotism and grit and devotion to America's Purple Heart veterans is great emotion and great love. The Purple Heart dates back to August 7th, 1782. That's a long time, when General George Washington awarded a heart-shaped purple cloth to 3 soldiers for outstanding gallantry and service in battle. This afternoon, we're joined by dozens of Purple Heart recipients and their families. And just as General Washington did 243 years ago, today we give our everlasting thanks to you and your unbelievable families. We want to thank you very much for being here. It's my great honor. We're also joined by American patriots who love our military and our veterans, including Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. You're doing a great job, Pete. Thank you. We're working hard together. Secretary of Veterans Affairs with 92% approval rating, I hear. That's a record. Doug Collins. Thank you very much, Doug. The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. She's got a lot of interesting things happening in the last 2 months. A lot of interest. Keep it coming, Tulsi. Keep it coming. Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Kane, my friend, who I knew a long time ago. He got rid of ISIS in record time. They said it was going to take 4 to 5 years. He did it in 4 weeks. That's when I said, if I get into this again, I'm going to make him the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and that's what happened. Great job. And they did an incredible job in Iran. I want to thank you very much. Great job, General. Deputy Secretary of Energy and Purple Heart recipient, James Danley. James, thank you very much, James. Great job. And we have a Medal of Honor recipient, Captain Paris Davis. Thank you. Where are you? Where might he be? Oh, look at you. You're better looking than I am, I'll tell you that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're also joined by the Marine Corps veteran who co-managed my 2024 campaign, a fantastic talent in many ways after he was wounded in battle for our country in Operation Desert Storm, Chris LaCivetta. So where is Chris? Where is Chris? Chris, stand up, Chris. With your beautiful daughter, Victoria. Thank you very much for being with your father. It's very nice. Every Purple Heart tells a story of courage, sacrifice, and purpose. It speaks of a price paid for the soldier beside you, the country behind you, and the generations of Americans yet to come. And we have some great generations to follow. It's going to happen. Those who wear this medal ran into bullets, faced ferocious bombs, and shed their blood on the field of battle. We will never forget what they did. We will always use them as an example of bravery and courage and strength. And we will also always think, when we look at them, of our great American flag. We want our great American flag to be strong, and it's stronger than ever. Since day one, my administration has used every power we have to fight for those who have fought for America. In 6 months, we have reduced the backlog of veterans' waitings. And that waiting list was very long, Doug, wasn't it, for the benefits? And it's 37%. So it's just, is that all you did, Doug? 37? I don't know, huh? That's incredible, actually. You're getting tremendous marks, and we appreciate it very much. We processed more than 2 million disability benefit claims this fiscal year, on track for the most ever. In fact, not even close.
Take-Two confirms Grand Theft Auto May 26, 2026. May 26th, 2026. Grand Theft Auto will be coming out.
Let's go with the Biden administration. They decided to get rid of it. And choices where if you wait in line for an extended period or you're not going to see a doctor for a while, you have the right to go out and get a doctor, and we'll pay for it. And you get yourself all fixed up real fast. You don't have to wait 6 weeks, 8 weeks, months like they were doing. And VA accountability, I'm very proud of those. We got them passed. Actually, Doug, you were a member of Congress when we did. You helped us a lot. But we got them passed in the legislature, so they're with us forever. And yet Biden found a way to not use them. But VA accountability, that's when we have bad people in the Veterans Association that were taking advantage of people, hurting people, and they weren't in prime time. In prime time, they wouldn't have touched them, but they weren't quite in prime time, and they were doing bad things. They were sadists, they were thieves, and some bad people. We had 9,000 of them. We fired every one of them, and it was a great thing. And then he put some of those people back. I don't know why they did that, but they did it. But we got them out again, I think, Doug, right? So it's good. So we had VA choice, VA accountability, something we're very proud of. I'm also working to keep my promise to end veterans' homelessness in America. In May, I signed an executive order to open the National Center for Warrior Independence in Los Angeles, California, which will house up to 6,000 homeless vets. It's going to be beautiful. And just last week, I signed the VA Home Loan Program Reform Act, a big deal to help.
All right, guys. So it doesn't look like this is an economic announcement. This is more so rooted around veterans. So I'll link this here for anyone who wants to watch it. But the economic announcements seem to be what we were kind of caught the tail end of, which I will pull up right here. So we didn't get to watch this, so I will pull this up. But it seems like it was about the data around the case for BLS job numbers. So let me pull this up because this was the main economic stuff. Let's see what he said here.
Others. And I'd like to ask Steve maybe to discuss a few of these numbers that were just released. I mean, literally just released. And then we're going over and we're going to do Purple Heart. We have some incredible, brave people that I look forward to. So we're going to do that right after this. Steve, could you say a few words about the various charts?
Thank you, Mr. President. So I called the president because I had some very good news from some new data that we've been able to put together that no one has ever seen before. And I'll just very quickly go through these. So I was telling the president that he did the right thing in calling for a new head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because this shows that over the last 2 years of the Biden administration, the BLS overestimated job creation by 1.5 million jobs. That's a, Mr. President, that's a gigantic error. And I don't know if she's, I'm not.
It might not have been an error. That's the bad part. If it was an error, it would be one thing. I don't think it's an error. I think they did it purposely.
Whether that, you may well be right, but even if it wasn't purposefully, it's incompetence.
Right.
Okay, so 1.5 million jobs overestimated. We have access to the some data that no one else does on what has happened month by month with median household income. This is based on unpublished Census Bureau data. It will be released sometime in the next 6 months, but we get an advanced look at it. And so I was telling the president in his first 5 months in office, starting in January through the end of June, the average median household income adjusted for inflation for the average family in America is already up $1,174. That's an
incredible number.
Yeah.
Just came out.
Just came out. So that's a giant thing.
And if I would have said this, nobody would have believed it. There's your number. We're doing well.
So the next one compares, we finally have the 2024 data.
What do you guys think of this presentation? How are you thinking of the way they're showing this data?
What happened with real family income in the United States. And so what I did was I compared the record in Donald Trump's first term with the Joe Biden first term. And you can see that, by the way, these dotted lines here, Mr. President, that's COVID. So if it had not been for COVID, these numbers would have been substantially better. But even taking account President Trump's last year in 2020, we saw a $6,400 real after inflation gain in income for the average family. And that compares with Joe Biden, which was a measly $551. So, Mr. President, you gain 10 times more income for the average family than Joe Biden is because of your policies.
And that's taken into consideration COVID,
Yep.
which a lot of times you don't have to do that.
Because
But I'm very glad you did.
We're over
No, we were
almost 8,000 until.
Look at that number.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we looked at, which families did the best. We have data from the Census Bureau that shows by income percentage. So the 25th percentile is the lowest income, 75th percentile is the highest income. What I find fascinating about this, Mr. President, is every income group did better. The red is President Trump, the blue is President Biden. Every single income group did better under President Trump. But what's really amazing is look what happened under Biden. The lowest income group lost income under Biden. They were poor 4 years after Biden's presidency. No gain virtually whatsoever for the middle class. And the rich was the only group that did better under Biden, which is ironic because Biden keeps saying he was trying to get rid of income inequality. He made income inequality worse, not better. It was President Trump that reduced income inequality.
These numbers just came out, by the way.
And then finally, these are the numbers just I just showed you in percentage terms. Mr. President, these are the numbers in dollar terms. So even the lowest income, 25th percent, gained about $4,000 in income. That's a lot for a lower income family. $6,400 for the middle class and almost $10,000 for the richest. So you can see every income group did better under Trump than Biden by a wide margin. That's the story.
I think when you look at them, they're all something, but this one chart really says it better than anything. If you look at this is great, but this chart is pretty amazing right here. All new numbers. Okay. So we're going to go now over to East Room, and we're going to celebrate some very brave people with the Purple Hearts. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, just to follow up on the India tariffs, do you expect increased trade negotiations, since you've announced the 50% tariff?
No, not until we get it resolved.
Mr. President, is your deadline for Vladimir Putin agreeing to a ceasefire still stand tomorrow, or is that fluid now that talks are?
Say it, what?
Is your deadline still standing for Vladimir Putin to agree to a ceasefire tomorrow, or is that fluid now?
It's going to be up to him.
And do you,
We're going to see what he has to say. It's going to be up to him. Very disappointed. Yeah.
Do you have to meet with, does Putin have to meet with Zelensky in order and before you and Putin have to meet? Or
No.
Are you
So
hoping
you're
for?
willing to, that's actually important because President Putin said this morning he was pretty dismissive of this idea of meeting with President
Who was?
Zelensky. President Putin was.
I don't know. I didn't hear
For you
him.
to meet with him, he doesn't have to agree to meet with Zelensky. Is that what you're saying?
No, he doesn't. No.
So when do you think that meeting?
They would like to meet with me, and I'll do whatever I can to stop the killing. So last month, they lost 14,000 people killed last month. Every week is 4,000 or 5,000 people. So I don't like long waits. I think it's a shame. And they're mostly soldiers. They're Ukrainian and Russian soldiers, and some people from the cities where, missiles are lobbed in and you'll lose 35, 40 people a night, which is terrible. But no, mostly it's soldiers. And you're talking about, on average, 20,000 a month. 20,000 people are dying a month. Generally young people, soldiers. We're going to, speaking about soldiers, we'll see you over for Purple Hearts.
There you go. Well, that's what you got from Trump. So those are the different types of economic charts that he pulled up to try to show some of the changes in the BLS. And I guess we'll get a deeper understanding of them when they announce the actual new commissioner of the BLS. We didn't look at Chime, folks. Active members up 23% year over year, purchase volume up 18%, revenue per member up 12%, revenue 37%, gross profit 38%, adjusted EBITDA 16 million. So Chime, although they're down 8%, they seem to have put up a pretty decent quarter as their first quarter of being a public company. But those are the results we have for Chime. All right, there you go. That is it. That is it for the day. It has been a wild day with a bunch of things happening. GPT-5 was the big one. Accelera up 10%. SoundHound up 11%. Those two kind of leading the way on earnings. Rklb, which I'm about to leave, so I will link Matt's stream, and everyone can go to Matt's stream to listen to the Rklb call. That one is down 3.64% still. Ethereum trying to get to 4,000. Rklb, again, good quarter, not a great quarter, not a horrible quarter either. But that one's down. SoundHound up 10. Trade Desk still down 27. Blocks up 8. Monsters up 2. SMR is down 2. CleanSparks up 1. MP up 6. Instacart up 7. Win down 1. Sweetgreen down 23. Serve Robotics down 5. Atlassian flat. Take 2 up 3. And Accelera is up 10.6%. So there you go. There you go. Steve will be on tomorrow. Steve will be on for the market close tomorrow. He will discuss his Palantir article that I think should be coming out either today or tomorrow morning. And so we'll talk with Steve tomorrow in the market close. Tomorrow's Friday, which is crazy. Again, the weeks are going by very, very fast. But yeah, that is it for me today. So there's the link right there for Matt Money. You can click on that link, and I think the call is either started or it's going to start in 15 minutes, and then Matt Money will be analyzing Rklb towards the end of the day. Tesla after hours, is that one moving at all? Tesla, it's down about 1% on Tesla. Let's just see if there's anything on Tesla. Oh, wow. Hold on. This is kind of big news. Whoa. Is this accurate, though? Is this really bullish NVIDIA if this is true? Tesla disbands Dojo supercomputer team in blow to AI program to rely more on NVIDIA, AMD, and Samsung. Bro. This NVIDIA right here up a little bit after hours. AMD up a little bit after hours, 173. Tesla is down slightly, nothing crazy, 319. I mean, you know, a lot of people have been saying Dojo is not going to be able to be the thing that the Uber Tesla bulls thought it was going to be. But to the Tesla bulls' credit, they also, I mean, if you're a Tesla bull, you talk about robotaxi or Optimus. You don't really go super deep on Dojo because everyone knows it's going to be hard for Dojo to compete with NVIDIA from a computing perspective. Zucks bought the Tesla Dojo team. And in fact, I was on Farzad's podcast actually, and they were talking about Dojo. So I'll link the podcast. But we were talking about Dojo versus NVIDIA, and you guys can take a listen to the pod. But I mean, yeah, dude, it's just you're not going to be able to compete with NVIDIA on a compute side. And I know Elon, I think in 2023, he said Dojo's like their compute business or their supercluster business to try to compete with not needing the types of GPUs and compute that they get from NVIDIA and AMD. Essentially, they wanted to replicate their own in-house version of being able to build out chips to train FSD. It's just hard. It's just really hard to do that. I mean, this just goes to show how unbelievably strong NVIDIA's moat is. And I don't think anyone expected Tesla to necessarily destroy their full reliance on NVIDIA, but people expected them slowly to not use as much NVIDIA. If this report is true, that's changing. And they are going heavier into NVIDIA and AMD. It wasn't the greatest idea. All server companies have been trying stuff for decades. Yeah, I mean, I've never fully studied Dojo because I never thought it was that serious. Not that Elon, couldn't really pursue it, but it's just like in a world in which speed to value, given we're seeing all these models and AI updates come out every second, is the moat. How quick can you get to the market? Like building out your own servers and data centers internally seemed like a mistake versus just relying on the companies that are out there. Yes, I still own HIMS. I still have my 700 shares of HIMS. Have not done anything with it, but I still have those shares. Wow, there you go. All right. I mean, look, Amazon's trying stuff. Google's trying stuff. Every company is trying to reduce some of their reliance on NVIDIA. It's not really working because NVIDIA continues to put up numbers. And a lot of those companies know that they can try in the short term, or they can try to build something for a foundation in the long term to not rely on NVIDIA. But in the short term, the CapEx continues to go higher on the guide for Meta, Amazon, and Google, along with Microsoft at $30 billion a quarter, because they need to spend. And in order to spend, obviously, they're going to have to buy a lot more of these chips. Tesla's Dojo leader, Bannon, leaves the company. Okay, if that's true, then yeah, this is official. This is official news. Yeah, I mean, if he's leaving, there you go. There you go. All right, that's it for me. Thank you, everybody. Again, Matt Money, I will put that right there in the chat. Rocket Lab, for anyone who wants to listen to the call, you can listen to it. We had a long stream in the morning, 5 hours, talked about a bunch of different things. And tomorrow we'll be back, and we will keep going from there as we continue to analyze the markets. All right, that's it for me. Thank you, everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow on the Market Open. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.